Yo,
Yo!
Max intro.
What's up, chat? Max here.
All right.
Make sure we sound okay before we...
Yo.
Oh, okay. We sound alright.
All right. If the stream cuts out at any point during this, and it will, like it did a second ago, bear with us.
Yeah.
Internet in here sucks.
Where have we been?
Well,
Where we at?
I don't know, but not the unusual setup.
Yeah.
Not the usual camera. Not usual anything. But this isn't really a podcast episode. This is a thing because we gotta talk. We need to speak.
We need to...
One on one. Don't. He's not here. One on. We need to speak.
Oh, I'm out. Right. Third
So
wheel.
there.
Third wheel in it.
Yeah. But we're gonna do some discussing of things that have happened in the absence of us on YouTube. So yeah, but breaks the TV.
I would happen on stream. Whatever.
Internet. Yeah, like I said, internet's not great. Stream's gonna drop out. Hopefully, Spotify not being up.
Well, it's been staying pretty consistent with the...
Maybe we should disconnect from Wi-Fi. Just to be safe. But we are chilling, waiting. I don't know if anyone's in here. I doubt it. But
Actually... Okay. It's staying consistent. That's all I care about.
well, if you didn't see if you saw the thumbnail, if you saw the title, we need to talk about the DCU because so much stuff has happened since we've been gone. And instead of, because obviously this is big news, we want to talk about this, but we're not doing the podcast right now as we're in the middle of some construction. And so
It's over there. You should see it. It's just a pile of crap. It's just I would to move that camera there, but then we were like, crap, we have to readjust it.
what's wrong with your darkness, please? You asked where that was, or hanging up on your wall.
I know. I forgot.
Yeah, but we need to discuss some of this stuff because many things have happened. Tickets went on sale for Superman. We have box office projections. Superman World Tour started. Clayface got cast. Fortnite did stuff. Other things that have happened, and so we're just going to go through all that.
Oh yeah.
Starting with something. I don't know. There's no way we could change the HDMI
We can.
to show Fortnite.
We can.
Because I'll start with Fortnite.
We'll do it right now.
So, Fortnite added, obviously there's Superman's in Fortnite, right? We haven't got to talk about this yet. But Superman is the secret skin of the Battle Pass in Fortnite.
Oh, there he is. Oh, we went away.
He's good. Pretty good.
There he is.
Well, switch it to the Battle Pass. It's so crazy it's dark for us, but not for you. Our camera's well.
Oh, that's not even one.
This looks like normal on the screen.
Keep the convo going here.
So, yeah. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. So, all right.
See thieves.
See if the you want to turn notifications on. You go to your
You know what? I know how to do it.
No, you
Do
don't.
I?
Obviously not.
I thought it was on the end there.
Do not disturb. All right. Well, as you can see, Fortnite has added Superman as the secret skin. A big collab thing. A Fortress of Solitude's coming to the map. It's growing out of the ground as we speak. Skin is pretty good, as you can see. I mean, I don't know if you want to hear.
Yeah, here, you turn around. Sorry. Yeah.
As you can see, 360. I like this kind of screen.
What?
It's kind of like on the screen. So.
Okay. I'll turn it if you want me to. I'll do. I'll just log it into something.
So, we have obviously Superman skin. It's David Cornsweat. There's a Lego style, which I mean, it's for the Lego mode. Symbol on the back of the cape. It's literally just him from the movie. There's the Lego version as well. Lego Superman. Pretty neat. So there's also other awards. Starting with this cool glider.
Boom. Catches it.
Catches the Daily Planet globe. It's pretty cool.
He's gonna do it in the movie, or you think it's just like a?
He could, but it could just be a thing. He's the only skin that carries it like this. All the other skins there is a handle that they grab
Yeah.
onto, which is fine as well. There's a loading screen, which you can. There's a loading screen, which is pretty neat. Robin as well. Robin is also in the game. That's another thing. Tim Drake. That's a car.
Yeah. Hopefully, I didn't hear that.
They probably do. So yeah, Superman. The next thing, oh, he's got a little like emote thing, cute little whatever.
Just the logo.
Yeah, shiny. Spray with the logo on it. Okay, there's a cape. There's Superman.
Looks different for other people. Oh, I guess it's a better look at him. More
Yeah.
closer.
The big thing here is that he's got a second style. And this style is probably the coolest superhero skin they've done in Fortnite. He's got an emote, the scene from the movie. So
Oh,
a cute logo.
I know the Lego emote.
Yeah, a cute logo on it as well. But he's got the scene from the movie. But with a llama. All right.
Okay, did they stop doing the Superman sweepstakes? Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry.
So they also have a banner. I'll clip that. That goes on your profile. It's nothing really crazy. His cape. It's also pen and ink style, so it's like a comic book. As you'll see when we get to.
Yeah, I kind of want to savor it.
Okay.
I always went.
No. So loading screen, Fleischer Superman, on it. Which is neat.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
I guess some of them. So
Yeah. It says if you go out. His name is Ryan Sook.
Ryan Sook. Okay.
Okay. His pickaxe, which is what I mean. Well, I don't know what you're gonna.
It's not bad.
It's a crystal, and then Jim Lee designed Superman. Obviously the cape's not on this for some reason.
Well, here I'll just do.
So there you go. Jim Lee designed Fleischer Superman. Pen and ink style is. I know it's a focusing issue. I just noticed it. Okay, that's fine. Is the the second style for Superman. This looks great.
Oh yeah, I agree.
This looks really good. I wasn't expecting him to do Fleischer. A lot of people are wondering if maybe he gets this suit at the end of the movie. I don't know.
I think it's a pretty interesting choice to use this suit. Like why not just use a regular pen and ink Superman suit? You know what I'm saying? Not that I ain't complaining.
Yeah, obviously the Jim Lee signature up here.
Here. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong.
This is probably the best DC skin Fortnite has.
I agree.
I would say.
I agree.
And obviously, you don't have the first Superman.
I do not.
I have the first Superman.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Compared to what?
But this is better. Okay.
What about this one though?
I think that was better. But also, I'm biased. So he's also right there, so I can't say anything good about it.
Come on, Ma.
I have to punch him for this guy.
Also, right here. No? Huh?
I got it 5 times on my chest. Superman. There's a creature flying around in here. What is that?
Moth to the
It
flame.
just hit the TV, whatever it was. Where'd it go? I heard it smack the TV. And it died.
It's Superman. Took him out.
All right, well. Yeah. Fortnite.
Oh, we won't get it. By the way, I found out we won't get this till July 13th.
It's after what we saw the movie. That's not fair.
Oh. Well, I'm going to see it again. So.
I'm seeing it again in August. Probably. Oh, you're seeing it again on July 12th, though.
Yeah, next day. But I'm going to see it again afterwards.
When you go see it, you go see
Oh, you don't want us to go see it again?
it. I mean, yeah, I was planning on seeing it.
I want to see if they had like a drive-in.
I was planning on seeing it after we got back from university.
I know you said you want to see. I know you said you want to see it 3D.
I did want to see it.
Oh, I don't know why I'm showing this. My bad.
That's Robin.
My bad. Oh yeah, I guess DC News. Yeah.
There's Robin, which is also very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do Batman and Robin. All right, let me look up what we got next. Because that's all the Fortnite Superman stuff.
Okay.
It's pretty neat. All right, I got an article I need to read. Well, actually, here, I guess we'll talk about this one. Tickets are on sale for Superman.
Yep.
We got our tickets. Seen it IMAX on July 11th. Uh, yeah, it seems to do pretty well. I think the box office projections right now, it's made 10 million in previews. Now I don't think counting the prime screenings. It's made 10 million in previews,
And that's
which
a
is
Thursday night showing, correct?
yeah, so which is more or no pre-sales. Sorry, it's made $10 million already,
Mm-hmm.
which is more than the Batman had made at this point. So if you're judging anything based off that,
That's fine. It's just like,
if you're judging anything based on the Batman, this movie should be making 700 something million, maybe more. I don't know.
which I'd say is pretty good for Superman.
Oh yeah. It's opening. Can't remember.
Last time I saw it was like 130, 150 million.
There's a bunch of different ones. There's one that says 90 million to 120. There's one that says 100 to 130. I think it's 125 to 150. And so it's kind of in a range. And a lot of people are expecting it to be maybe higher. Just all depends on what about. And so that's what's going on. The trailer that came out for the tickets on sale, I would say, um, I said this before, but I think I'm wrong a little bit. I think the first official trailer is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I do think that the tickets on sale trailer is good. See, what they've done is the first trailer was all about Clark, like Superman.
Yeah.
The second trailer was more about like Clark and Lois, and then the third trailer is about Lex.
I've come to the realization I have. Hold up. I have 120 raffles into that Superman giveaway.
Still, and
I'd be mad. I gotta punch more. I could add in another 40.
I mean,
I might.
you got to use them.
Well, I used them for like a free drink upgrade or something, but I mean, like,
You already spent this much.
you know, it's gonna suck because I'm gonna go to that theater. I'm like, man, you're gonna start getting me the idea, like, what if I don't win it? And then, like, I'm gonna be tempted to buy that bucket. I'm gonna go buy the bucket. It's like, oh, you won. I'm like,
then you just give me the one that comes with the bundle.
you gonna buy me the? I ain't giving you the. Oh, I guess so.
As long as you have two.
I am gonna buy a Superman cup though. Or at least I'm gonna buy something that ain't on here. Cause I don't think that popcorn. That popcorn bucket's dope though. Which I guess we might show a picture on here, but
But yeah. So there was a trailer. I wish I could pull it up. Actually, I might be able to. Hang on.
pull it back here.
Wait, can I not? Can I? No.
I'm trying to. I could just pull up my YouTube on my.
No. Can we do that? I don't think we're allowed to show footage in the background.
Of the YouTube?
In the background of this, have footage of like in copyright. I guess we don't have to show the audio. I don't know how that's gonna work. So I don't think we can have footage like that. That's like a reaction thing. We might get copyright.
I ain't gonna play audio.
Whatever's about to play on the TV right now. Oh,
Right there. Let's look at Landon's subscriptions.
what has he looked up?
Well, hold up. I'm gonna have to watch this later. I'm gonna add this to my history.
We're in the middle of something.
Sorry, no, anyways.
Well, he looked up Comic Book Burrito, Maximum Tyrone Magnus. Explain why you've been watching.
Explain your Tyrone Magnus.
I hate Watch. I think he's stupid.
Yeah, I hate Watch too.
I think it's very stupid.
I gotta just look up to see what he's looking at. Just you want this one?
Say it again.
Hold up. I did not mean to do that.
Whoa. You can do both. See, because I feel like we're gonna copyright.
There we go. It's muted. Just playing in the background.
So there's this. This is the tickets on sale trailer. Lex is doing this whole thing right now, where he's like,
Gives us monologue.
yeah, he's like, finally, I'm gonna destroy you. This is a really cool moment. It's unflinching. He's like, maybe even I'm gonna destroy you. As it says right here. Maybe that reporter that you do interviews with. I'm gonna kill her too. He says, "Who raised you as a child?" I'll kill them. I'm like, bro.
All right, yeah,
calm down. This guy's a hater. He has a line later in the trailer where he goes, "They chose him, let them die." And I'm like, God, hate it.
Oh, yeah.
And for what? Just because he's jealous.
Yeah.
Because he's not Superman. So it's this really cool flying shot. Which I do like. I wonder if this is the full quality. Probably is. I'll sip this. Wrap it up. He said he pulled a Jeff Keighley. Lex Luthor pulled a Jeff Keighley and he said, wrap it up.
Yes, okay.
No one ever. See, let's go back because I want to see the show. No one ever understands that joke. I've said it multiple times, and I think I said it on Twitter. Yeah, so look at this. Boom. Now that, if we can maybe pause at the part where the teeth are flying out of his mouth,
Yes.
so I can see like that. So pause it there. All right.
Yeah, I actually got it pretty good.
So this shot, as Crypto flies up, rips the guy's helmet off, Superman punches him, teeth, ting, 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 all across the screen, and he goes flying. This reminds me, James Gunn's done this before. This reminds me of the Suicide Squad. At one point, Starro kicks a car in the Suicide Squad, and it ends up bouncing off the camera.
I don't remember that, but it's been a hot minute since I've seen.
So that reminds me of that, because James Gunn does some fun camera stuff like that. A lot of people have some issues with this. I think he actually looks better than I remember him looking right here.
Yeah.
But
well, here you can see it better.
I think it's the eyes.
I'll go back because you see it better here.
Wrap it up. Also, I want to talk about that thing.
He kind of has it here.
Yeah. So the eyes in the shot. The eyes, they're red, as you can see. I don't know if maybe he's been affected by kryptonite, and that's the heat vision's like hurting him right now or something. I'm not really 100% sure what that is.
I think it's from like the laser eyes. He's like his eyes are big. Because didn't they do that in Suicide Squad?
No one had laser eyes in Suicide Squad.
No, Superman.
What?
Was his eyes like kind of dark around? I don't remember.
No, that was just the Brainiac stuff.
Okay.
So the only thing I can think of for this is that he was in like a, what do they call those things? Where two people with the laser eyes, and they're like.
Oh.
And like, and you put in like one of them.
One's more powerful.
Ultraman hits him with it, and it like hits his eyes, and because maybe.
So Superman's pissing contest, he lost, basically.
So yes, you get this fun shot. There's a shot maybe it was right before this that shows Superman getting lasered, which I actually think might be that moment. Can we go back, Jamie?
Yes, Jamie, we can go back.
I'm also Jamie.
Oh,
yes.
Jamie.
Go back.
None of us.
Go back and pause it. You can maybe slow it down. I don't know. It's as soon as it shows him getting lasered. I want to see the person that's doing it. It'd be like, boom.
Oh,
yeah, it would have been it.
I had it. Need some more confidence in me.
So obviously, I'm flying, doing all that.
Oh, I ain't losing my thing.
Wrap it up. So he still keeps covered. So you may need to go put it at 25 feet.
Not available on this device. Of course it ain't. Okay, I like watching him fly around again.
Yeah, Hammer Bravia. He's covered. Well, this guy. It's hard to see, but he's got long curly hair and a beard. And there's a point, Boba Talks did this on a video, he paused at a certain point where you can see its face. And while he's doing this laser, he's like screaming at Superman. Yeah. He looks like a monster. They're hiding who he is because there's a big black bar over the rest of his face.
Yeah.
And when you really zoom in and pause it, and they're hiding who that is. Which I assume it's also David Cornsmith.
Yeah.
But that would probably be Ultraman.
Yeah.
This is probably the scene where you learn who he is.
Yeah.
And then Superman gets Ultraman. This is probably the middle of the climax of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very interesting. We can continue. Yeah. So you see this? Crypto flies up, takes him off, punch him, teeth, boom. Fly off. A lot of people don't like the CGI in it. I don't think it's fine. Yeah. This is an intro. Make a movie. It's us.
It is
they
us.
won't understand that.
They won't. Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, it flies off. I want to see the city splitting apart. This is probably the end of the movie. I think this is the dimension that Lex Luthor lives in, or has the base in, and it's like colliding with the normal real world.
Yeah.
And so there's buildings falling everywhere.
Metropolis. Friggin' Pixels reference.
Metropolis is being ripped in half.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like, this must be where the building falls, I would assume. In the Oh,
Yeah,
the
but
shot.
yeah, but I feel like when the building falls, that's kind of like in the beginning of the movie,
Where's the,
though.
where's the Daily Planet? I don't think it's in the beginning of the movie.
I don't see it. Are you supposed to see it here?
Maybe this kind of looks like the Daily Planet.
I thought it was. I
Yeah,
thought.
but the globe's gone. No, yeah. Where's the globe? We're over here searching. Because over there probably LexCorp. I think that's up to us now.
That is LexCorp.
Yeah.
So that would,
And there's the Daily Planet. So
geography wise, that is the Daily Planet.
yeah, so the globe's gone. James was like, we can only do a full movie. Not making it. So someone, Ultraman, Kaiju, Hammer Bravia, someone throws this globe, I assume, at Superman. And he catches it,
Mm-hmm.
and he moves like, Go back.
Oh, hold up. Spin it. Yeah, spin it on there.
Or he just like, maybe just Kobe. And it's like, yeah, but I assume that's what that is. I don't know. But this shot's really interesting. I think this is the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Continue. Make a move, Big Blue, Guy Gardner. Look at that shot. Comic book cover panel right there.
Let's recreate it.
No.
Oh, all right. There you
It's
go.
also not what he's doing.
It is.
He's doing this.
His hand's behind him. So,
Yeah, but you were like this. That's not what he's doing.
Magnus.
So Ultraman, look, Ultraman, and Superman. This is like a comic book panel. This looks crazy.
Huh, I just the meteors.
Metropolis maybe. Well,
Oh, no, no.
there's something.
Kind of weird shot to
I
pause.
told you to keep going. Let's pull it over my back.
Jamie pull it up.
All right, we're gonna watch him punch this guy again. Ooh, this will be fun on my mouth. I have to redo. Okay, cool. All right, well, so you see them again. This is Lord Tech Field, obviously. It says over there. This is we saw this in set videos. I think if okay, now you can play it.
Soda cola.
Yeah, now you can play it.
Oh, dang, okay. Right
It's
there.
right. It's in the background of them when they're fighting. So maybe move Big Blue. Hold on. Keep going.
Okay.
It's they're okay. So there are drones that are flying around during this, and I think it's Lex drones, and they're recording this, trying to make it out like Superman's doing that badge. But yeah. So I think it shows another shot of it in the background back there. Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Pause it. Go. It'll show it. It's so hard to
I'm
see.
trying.
It's so hard.
It's not like I'm on a computer here.
But the engineer and Mr. Terrific are in the background. And you can almost see them.
Look, oh my god, I cannot get a shot. There.
All right, well, okay, so you can see the engineer. Mr. Terrific is on the ground, laid out, knocked out. There's drones flying around. All right. We can't really see Mr. Terrific, so we'll just get to it. Suplexed. Oh, what a shot. Hold on.
I want to get.
This movie's literally a comic book. This is like come to life if it was. This is cool. Just pause on Mr. Terrific shot and then.
Oh, plus here we get people.
Oh yeah,
doing
so
planet.
we've seen this shot before. The Schuster's grandchildren are back there.
More people are in this shot now than previously. I remember.
I think it's this. My man said, with the no, he's in the floating chair, which a lot of people have a problem with because in the comics he floats on his spheres. He just like kind of stands on them in the free line. And yeah, so he as Mr. Terrific. This is actually a really good shot of him. We get a line from him in this trailer as well. But
First,
there's a few lines. There's another line where he's like, "You brought that dog, man," and then so okay, all right,
what's going on here?
God. So I'm gonna point out something you might not have noticed, which you may have. I think you're looking at it.
Yeah,
So Metamorpho's over here, and he's the one that's got this tentacle.
Yeah,
And
holding a burrito.
That's a baby.
Maybe Joey.
I assume his son. I thought. Now I
had an argument with someone of who that could be.
Now I see why people think it's crypto because I see something here that almost looks like it might be a cape, but I don't. think crypto's that big. I don't know. Maybe I don't see a paw unless that's his paw, but it doesn't really. I don't know. I thought it was Eve Tessmacher's coat because she's wearing the big fuzzy coat. But I
Yeah.
don't know if this is. I could be wrong. That could be crypto. Which I mean, but
I can kind of see it. Like that's like his leg. That's his arm. Yeah, it's like a paw
yeah, but it looks like the same. I don't know.
made out of crypto.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Crypto getting shot in Super
So what even is going on here?
This is definitely in that dimensional whatever
Yeah.
quantum unfolding thing that Lex has. It's like in Peace Movie.
What's in front of Superman for like what's Metamorpho looking at?
Maybe a rift. I think we see this later. I mean, continue on. We can bring it back to that. Um, Lois piloting the spit now. Yeah, I have a picture saved on my phone. I think it's the funniest thing ever.
So freaking Perry White with the it's terrific with the
Duality. Hang on. Let me find this picture. Because I think this is hilarious. Yeah. This dude is locked in. You guys can't see. You might be able to see it with it. This guy is locked in. I've never seen. He said, cigar in his mouth, sitting there like this. Yeah. This guy hotboxing everyone. Jimmy is riding on a Lord Tech laptop. She's piloting this. There's Ryan.
Jimmy is riding on a Lord Tech laptop.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's on him. He's letting wit. Oh, they said he's riding on one. I'm like, what are you talking
Like I'm
about?
writing something on my laptop.
Oh, writing. Okay, they said writing. I'm like, what?
So he's riding there, and then Ron Chirp's in the back. Cat Grant's
Cat
back there. I'll tell you a minute. Okay, never mind. All right, so if you look, Steve Lombard doesn't have a seat. He's got to stand. But I want to go back to that last shot because I want to talk about this cool thing. I feel like this is game food.
We're politicians now too, I guess.
Close again.
Oh, there's him.
Yeah, he's like, God. Okay, I don't know what this is. It's interesting. This is some sort of army general person. And they've got some kind of evidence. This almost looks like it's Lord Tech, but I can't tell. They're investigating something. I think that's Eve Tessmacher. They might be investigating Lex,
Yeah.
which could be why maybe Lex is trying
What
to-
gets them in this situation where they end up in this ship? Is this
I don't know.
during?
Where's Mr. Terrific? Where's the rest of
Is this during where?
Yeah, we did see them coming out of the ship, and
Like,
there was a set video of them going in the ship that was on the roof of the Daily Classic. What?
I feel like I'm like playing like hide and go seek with myself because every time I look down here, I look away and then I look back and he's like looking directly at me.
So we saw a set video of them getting in the ship on the roof of the Daily Planet, and then of them getting out on the streets of Metropolis after whatever fight happened. Which maybe could be the Hammer Bravia. I don't know. This feels like a later on in the movie type thing.
Well, here, let's see when we get that background shot. So, do we see?
That's the Daily Planet roof. We're maybe.
I'm trying to see if we had that splitting thing. Like, see if that's
No, I
going
don't see
on.
that. There's a lot of traffic. So
Okay, the globe's there.
okay, so this is before that. I assume. Is that the same roof? Maybe it's not. Because honestly, I don't know. This is crazy. Okay. I'm gonna scooch. All right.
Oh crap! Okay. Oh.
Okay. So this is. We can pause it to get a good look at this guy. Wow.
Sorry.
It's so hard. It's so blurred and like messed up because they're hiding. Let's see if I go back. I thought it was. So I don't know what he's using. This is obviously when the city's
But you see again, his eyes are
the
pretty.
city
bad.
is splitting apart right here. He's fighting who I assume is Ultra. Okay. Long hair. He's got long brown hair. That's Ultra. It looks like his outfit.
Solid.
But I think it's going to be like a Bizarre type thing.
Mm.
But because Lex creates him. The city's splitting apart, as you can see. He's using what I assume is a street light or a black post or something to smack the crap out of old Ultraman. All right. Look up. All right, so we get the Middle East stuff. Obviously, we've seen this. Everyone's chanting Superman. You got all the people.
This still in okay, so yeah, I guess.
You got everybody. Person's got a cinder block.
Superman. It's like we're in a fight something. They're like, oh, staying against something.
This is the war that Superman interrupts. Okay. They chose him, let him die. Let them die. The kaiju scene, as you've seen many times.
Which I don't even notice they kind of they updated this background compared to the
Yes.
first trailer.
All right. Ross Boulevard. That's cute. So you got this. He goes, and you got Mr. Terrific calling down the Superman. He's like, "Hey,
Quit messing around.
quit messing around." And Superman, in a moment that a bunch of people hated on for some reason, they're like, "Oh, it's Chris Pratt." You know,
Chris Pratt and Superman.
it's kind of funny. You can see in the glare that we have a thing.
They're like, what is that back there?
So there's a light and there's a sheet hanging over it, so it's not putting this ginormous glare on the TV, but it still is for some reason. Anyway, Superman, he's like, "Hey, quit messing around." Superman's like, "I'm not messing around. I'm gonna report stuff."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "It's Chris Pratt in a Superman outfit." I'm not kidding, bro. This shot, oh my god. But go back. I want to go back to the part he makes that joke because that ties into what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you when.
What?
This is some kind of interdimensional rift thing. And I think this is what they're pulling, Mammoth's pulling Superman away from. Because as you see, as the shot goes on, something pulled into it.
Yeah.
So, whatever that could be, who knows?
Yeah.
And finally, you get this really cool shot of Superman doing the spins. One thing I don't know if you noticed.
Dude, that's...
One thing I don't know if you noticed in this is that Crypto is also in this.
Ah!
It's finally like yeah, he's right there.
What's it?
Crypto's flying
What
around.
is the Lex bots?
Yeah, on the Lex guards. They're called Raptors. Crypto's flying around, and he's bringing them to Superman for him to annihilate. He's spinning, lasering,
Pete.
and then you also get the "Hey buddy, eyes up here" shot, which is next.
Oh.
We see the IMAX, and he gets a really cool flying shot. Yeah. There you go.
Film for IMAX, which we are seeing it in IMAX. I should bring up.
So, that would be. I'll have to watch that.
Oh, that was this.
Oh, funny. No, oh god. Well, then you see, you know that. Is the quality that bad? Or is that just the video?
Yeah, this is the yeah. Oh, we're streaming at 720.
GG. It is really bad. Wow.
Oh, let's see how this goes. It's so freaking stupid. Anyways.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So let's know what you thought about the Superman tickets on sale trailer down below. I don't know if we'll get another one. Maybe we will.
I don't think we will. Maybe like a like now in theaters type thing, but
Yeah. Just like this one. Locked in. Alright. Let's talk about
oh yeah, watch this way.
so stupid.
Anyway.
Alright. Let's talk about Snake Face. Now let me get my HDMI back up on here.
So what? Hey, HDMI? So what? 4?
Whatever it was on.
Oh yeah. I forgot I was just on my own YouTube. But no.
I don't know. Maybe it's lighting. I don't know. Anyway, what I need to do is let me think about this. What do you guys see right now? Nothing. All right.
Nothing.
Let me do this. No.
Summer Games Fest surprise.
Skadoosh.
Oh my god.
All right. We're here. Welcome to my computer. Oh god, I forgot that. Wait. Is it this? I'm confused. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait. Let's do this again. Um, let me figure out how to display capture. We go to properties. There is a giant creature crawling on your floor. It's crawling towards your stuff. Go get it. Here. What is that? That's not the same one.
I know it's not the same one. I freaking lost. I killed it.
I thought you flung it.
Yeah. I know. I didn't think I really flung it. I thought I kind of just moved it.
Well, while Landon's
I killed it though.
murdering innocent animals.
I think it was like the nastiest creature that was in the water.
Yeah, that was gross looking.
It's a giant creature going across.
Let's not. How do I exit out? What? What's happening?
No, leak.
I don't know how to get off of this.
Can I press escape?
I tried. All right.
Told you. They just saw a leak, man.
That wasn't a leak.
Come
All right. Well, allow me to see. Can I not see the same thing on here that they see up there?
my thing go. Oh, it fell off, but
Something flew off. I don't know. Oh, Superman over here.
super strength. Ja.
So let's get into this. You see, I was trying to look up stuff to make a thumbnail.
James Gunn, booty twerk off.
We don't want to talk about that. So let's.
What is this? I'm less afraid now.
This was the cover of the article. Hold on. Uh-huh. All right. 1 second. You guys can barely see this out. Oh no, all my files. Oh god. It's fine.
Leak.
All right. So why? Why? Okay, let's discuss this. I got an article I got to read. You guys can see this. No, you can't. All right. Rolling Stone did an article with James Gunn. And this article is very interesting. I read it. I'm going to read it to you. All right. So, make sure everything's going good. It would appear. Let me transition here. All right. Superman director James Gunn. You don't want everyone. I don't know what's going on there. That's not happening on stream, is it?
I don't think so. I haven't looked yet.
Chat, is the stream having a
Oh,
seizure?
it hasn't even shown it yet.
It appears so. I saw it once.
I did too.
Chat, is the stream having a seizure? Stream is not having a seizure.
Wait, can you not just full screen on your end?
What?
No, I'm saying like go to the article on like the full screen so that way you can. There you go.
All right. Superman director James Gunn. You don't want everyone to read for you.
Yeah.
Deep on his high stakes take on the Man of Steel, the future of his new universe, and how getting fired up. Have you read? Now
I haven't read nothing of this.
Have you seen anything?
Nope.
Have you not seen any of the article? I thought I've seen.
I've been off Twitter all day.
No, this wasn't today. This was on the 16th.
I ain't read it.
It's not hard. to find James Gunn's office on the Warner Brothers lot. A huge glowing Superman S beckons from an entrance wall visible through a glass door from yards away. Gunn, 58, is in his third year as co-CEO of the company's newly created DC Studios, sharing the title and office with Peter Safran, who handles the business side of the operation. Oh.
There you go. I don't know what to add to it. I don't know. Very
The
interesting.
words on the screen. No.
Oh, okay.
That's all you read.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Together, they're creating a new superhero universe around some very old characters, aiming to combine to make Superman and friends and family and fun pet. Truly competitive with the currently shaky Marvel Cinematic Universe. They go on to talk about James Gunn starting off drawing all weekly comic strips, working on MCU, doing all that fun stuff. Scooby Doo, Dawn of the Dead, directing Guardians, and he did Suicide Squad. Make sure everything's running smooth. What the heck? All right, you guys just listen. All right. In a glass case in the hallway of his office, which once belonged to Frank Sinatra, he has a full Superman costume worn by the late Christopher Reeve. A Gene Hackman worn Lex Luthor bathrobe is in its own case in the spa-sized bathroom. Gunn sits on a couch with Superman and Aquaman action figures looming above him on a mantle. On the coffee table are various DC comics, among them one eyebrow-raising anomaly, a copy of the first Marvel DC crossover project, 1976, Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, the Battle of the Century. All right. So the person interviewing James Gunn starts off with this question. You read the question, I'll read his answer.
All right. Supergirl, which is out next year, is wrapping principal photography. How much were you on the set?
James Gunn says 0, very little. I mean, in the very beginning, but I've been pretty busy, as you might imagine. I was really involved at the script stage, but then director Craig Gillespie has just been such a great partner. He's just been doing his thing. You never know how something cuts together, but right now it looks amazing. It's really just.
That's no longer called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, so we get our first bombshell here, sort of. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is just called Supergirl. That's just the name of the movie.
He's like, what?
He said, I think it's just called Supergirl. They get more into renaming stuff right here.
Your Superman movie was first called Superman Legacy, and now it's just Superman.
Yeah. And he says, yeah, I'm always cutting. Legacy was really, we do something called a pre-mortem. Pre-mortem is you get together with your group that's doing the project. It's usually about a couple of months before shooting. And you go, hypothetically, if it's an epic disaster, what are the things that we're doing today that are going to cause it to be an epic disaster? Everyone here can speak freely. The things you find on other productions are the things that the people are whispering, oh God, I don't know why they cast that actor. He doesn't fit the role. Production designer's never on time. One of the things I brought up was it was called Superman Legacy. Even though I was the one that gave it that title, I just wasn't sure. First of all, I'm sick of the superhero title, other name thing. And then also, it seemed to be looking back when we're looking forward, even though it does have to do with legacy in the movie itself. And everybody was like, oh yeah, no, change. So that's why it was changed to Superman, which makes me think that Batman Brave and the Bold and something like that's going to be titled, it won't be titled Bat,
Yeah.
but I think about it be titled like Batman and Son, Batman and Robin.
You can call it Batman and Robin.
Okay. Why not?
Wasn't there a movie already called Batman and Robin?
There's some, sure, but why not?
Okay.
Tell me, Hollywood's going to end if they run out of movie titles. Tell me, we can't rename movies. There's a movie called The Avengers in Europe.
Yeah, UK. Yeah.
So there's that. And then here,
No, you got it.
Because it occurred to me this particular version of Superman needed a certain version of you and a certain version of the audience. Could 2010 James Gunn have made this film? He said, I don't think the 2020 James could. Everybody knows I was offered Superman in 2018. They also talked to me about Batman earlier than that, but I was in the middle of Guardians 3. If they'd come to me in 2018 with Batman, I would have said yes, but yeah, I just couldn't quite wrap my head around it. And I asked what had to change. So I needed the right way in, and that required time to think through a few thousand options before I got the way that I thought worked. But I do also think that my life and career has been a gradual softening of the edges. I still like black comedy. I still have edges, but I used to like provoking a lot. And today, although I still seem to do it, I really don't like doing it. In my heart, I'm pretty sentimental. I just believe in basic human values. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a good starter kit for that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you read their questions, because
They all had a lot of heart. There you go. That's what I read.
They have a lot of heart, but they do have their own weirdness and oddities and edginess, and Superman isn't that, even though he does from the outside have a lot of oddness. A flying dog in a cape is odd. Giant walking robots and kaijus, that's all odd. The very good nature of him, this really strong belief in what's right, sometimes perhaps to a fault, is what makes Superman who he is, and that is not Star Lord or Rocket. That's not a guy who's angry or covering up his emotions. He's pretty pure. And so getting to the place where I could write that character was a journey. In the past, I would have done it through making fun of the character, and I don't think that's what I do. I'm less afraid now than I used to be. I will allow myself to be purely creative more than I used to. I thought I was being purely creative, but a lot of times it was just anger releasing itself in another way. I'm less afraid of being goofy or sentimental or boring or strange. So there had this article introduces things that make me realize why I think he's probably like one of the better creatives.
Yeah.
Here's weird stuff, which we haven't got to the points where it kind of talks about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a bit of the movie, and there's a very grounded interview scene between Lois and Clark. That seems very new territory for you.
He says, that's a huge thing for me. I have a long talking scenes in Guardians, but they're stuffed with jokes. That's not the case here. There's funny stuff that happens in that scene, but it's all situational. And so allowing myself to write that scene is truly about two characters and the different ways they see the world and morality.
So you have had the impulse to make that more jokey?
And he says, yeah, horror movies and comedies are so comforting to a filmmaker because if they're working, the audience is reacting constantly. Even like people crying at the end of Guardians 3. But it's also a rather selfish thing as a filmmaker because I'm not making something so that I can sit in an audience and be happy. I'm making something that really works on a fundamental level. So I have to be willing to sit there with the audience and not know if they're liking it or not. So that's...
Oh gosh, yeah, this is a pretty interesting question. I'm actually interested in his response to this one. After you temporarily got fired from Marvel for some old tweets, you said that tons of friends reached out to you, and that for the first time in your life, you had a transformative experience of feeling truly loved.
He says, there's no doubt that without that experience, I don't think I would have written the Superman that I wrote. I definitely wouldn't be doing this job if I didn't get fired. And I don't know if I'd be doing this job even if it wasn't for that. I just don't think that a character that pure would have quite appealed to me.
How did that open the door?
He says, I don't think that opened the door to me writing the pure Superman. That opened the door for me to stop creating so that people would like me. That's downplaying it. So people would love me. I think on some level, everything I had done came from a pleasing place.
A tap dancing for the audience kind of thing?
He says, that's exactly right. Which came from that kid in a dysfunctional family trying to make everybody happy by dancing around. Literally, that's what my effing career was. Not in total, but it was a neediness on my part. I need to be loved. And one of the most interesting things for me is my relationship with actors. How I got good at working with people like Chris Pratt is because he came in and I'm like, he came in and I'm like, stop. You don't need to juggle. Same thing with John Cena. You don't need to juggle for the audience to like you. You're a movie star. Just be present, be yourself, and show that natural vulnerability that's a part of who you are as a human being. And that speaks to people.
So you were giving that advice, but not to yourself at that point.
Really good at giving that advice, but not taking it to heart in a way that was transformative, which is what that moment gave to me. But again, I'm not perfect on the other side of it. It's not like I'm still doing things to validate myself in some way. That's still a part of me being a imperfect human being, but my basic life choices are not made according to that.
Let's see here. Even you were intentionally worried about the idea of Rocket and Guardians. You said that it would be like having Bugs Bunny with the Avengers. So clearly, audiences needed to evolve to accept the flying dog in a movie. You paved the way.
He says, that's right, Rocket made the world ready for Crypto, although in a way, Crypto is way more grounded than Rocket, because Crypto is simply a superpowered dog. He's just a poorly behaved dog, which is what my dog was, so it was really easy and fun. Right.
Let's see. One of your biggest innovations here is a sci-fi, Silver Age, Superman stuff, robots, etc. And has that ever been in a live action film?
That has never been.
Oh, that's never been. Excuse me.
He says, yeah, I think that's the biggest tonally novel thing about this film. It really is based on the tone of All-Star Superman in a lot of ways. Taking that tone into a cinematic. By the way, where's my All-Star Superman? I just remembered that.
That is in my car.
Okay, fine. As long as it's safe.
Oh no, I put it at the McKay.
Pressure. Yeah. So you read a little bit of that book.
I am.
But the movie's based on the tone of that,
Mhm.
which feels very. It's not. It's not a.
Yes, I definitely got the.
It's not a happy story, but it's not like a sad story. It's
Yeah.
bright.
It's a hopeful story. Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, and taking that tone into a cinematic realm is not the usual thing for a superhero movie or for any movie. So I really was thinking a lot when making the film about graphic novels more than movies.
Let's see here. Fantastic Four is coming around the same time as Superman and seems to share that Silver Age optimistic feel. It's interesting given weird times in the world right now. That seems to be the right vibe.
He says maybe, but do you really think they're alike? I'm really embracing the Silver Age of it all, but I don't think it's as stylized, or at least not stylized in the same way. And it's not as retro. There are retro futuristic aspects because we've got Daily Planet with a big freaking globe, and the robots, the machinery. So I can see where there's certain similarities.
On a story level, what cracked Superman for you?
Said it was Crypto. The beginning of the movie is the first thing I wrote, with Crypto coming to Superman in the snow and Crypto taking him home. That really was about the tone of the whole. It's a flying dog who wears a cape, but that led immediately to the robots, to the fortress rising from the ground, to the device that isn't in the comics, the giant magnifying glass which powers them up more quickly than just the regular sun. Bringing all those elements into a Superman movie in a way that hasn't happened. Not to mention that he exists in a world where superheroes, or some form of metahumans, have existed for 300 years. It's just a different thing. 300 years would be 1700s? 1800s? No,
300 years from now?
what? Right? Would be 1700s?
That sounds about right.
Superheroes since the 1700s. Right.
Okay. Eddie Murphy once told me that nearly every bad movie happens because of Hollywood's habit of setting a production date before they have a finished screenplay.
He says, yeah, totally. So we obviously the DC's talked about this before. That's their but he says, I'm really compassionate towards people that put all their work in a movie. I know some people that were my former workers at Marvel, people who made some of the worst movies. There were people that were lazy and didn't put their time in, and then there were other directors that worked really hard and maybe didn't have the best movie come out, but they did everything they could. But I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying is not because of people not wanting to see movies. It's not because of home screens getting so good. The number one reason is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay.
And that's one of the biggest rules you've made for DC. They have to have finished scripts.
Yeah. He says, yeah, we just killed a project. Hold up. Wait. James? All right. He says, yeah, we just killed a project. Everybody wanted to make the movie. It was greenlit, ready to go. Screenplay wasn't ready. I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay's not good. We've been really lucky so far. The Supergirl script was so freaking good off the bat. And then Lanterns came in, and that script was so freaking good. Clayface, same thing. So freaking good. So we have these scripts that have been really lucky with, or wise in our choices, or whatever the combination is. So there's been
yeah,
a project that has been killed. Do we know about it? Do we know which one this is, or do we not know which one this is? Because it could be one of the ones we know about. It could be one we've not heard about yet. But it was greenlit. I feel like we would have heard about it. I don't know anything that was greenlit that we don't know about. This could be Authority.
Yeah. Could be
He said it was a passion project, so I doubt it.
Could be Sergeant Rock.
I don't think he will. No, James can just confirm today that that is not. We'll
Okay.
talk about it. That movie still happening. So I don't know what it is. If something is dead. It's not Booster Gold. It's a movie.
Swamp Thing? Nah, that's like I don't know.
Something is way off. So I don't know.
Some project got killed. We probably won't know about it until like a documentary or something comes out at some point.
Maybe we just talks about it.
Let's see here. Okay. You've written hundreds of pages of material recently between the Creature Commandos animated show, Peacemaker Season 2, and Superman. Do you ever worry about exhausting at the well? Extinguishing the well, yeah.
So if I do, then I'll go raise goats. I really am fine. I didn't know he'd go raise Suicide Squad was listening.
Oh, no. No.
He says, I'll raise goats. If I really am fine, there's a lot of directors who get worse as they get older, and I don't want to do that. Maybe I do. I don't know. It's like if it runs out, it hasn't so far, but who knows?
What? Oh,
It's just funny
hey,
to
hey,
me.
James. You said you felt like you were able to be creative without fear now, but at that same time, you gave yourself permission to be pretty creative from early on. You were working in all of those different mediums.
Because I had comic strips published everywhere. That was really what I thought I was going to do when I was younger. I wanted to be like Berkeley Brett Reeve from Bloom County. Although I was also really playing music at the same time, so who knows? I wanted to be a rock star, but at the same time, I like the idea of having my characters on bed sheets and stuff. I was searching for a way to be noticed and make money. I really wanted to make a living as an artist, and then of course I wanted to be famous and all those things. So I really was just trying whatever. For me, the whole secret was finishing whatever I started. It did feel like I had a bunch of half projects out there until I was in my mid 20s.
Was that linked to getting sober? You finishing projects?
He says, no, that was sort of a faith thing. When I was in school for writing, I had 51 first chapters of novels. Then at a certain point, I just had the realization, which was in the form of a spiritual awakening, which was just to finish what you start.
You had that revelation while you were ghostwriting a book with what Trauma Studios. They pronounce it. Co-founder of Lloyd Kaufman, right?
So that's exactly what it was. I was writing the book for Lloyd. I wanted to quit because it was freaking killing me. I didn't have a small ego. I felt like I was doing a lot of things for trauma, and I didn't like. I was feel like I was getting any respect for it. And now I'm ghostwriting something I thought was hilarious. And the more I was writing it, and the funnier I thought it was, the more resentful I was becoming. So I talked to Lloyd about. I think I got to stop, which was crazy because I got paid money to do it. A lot of this is really ungrateful of me. I'm not saying this in any good way, but I'm freaking driven. So that's when I had that awakening, which was to finish what you start. And so then I went back and I finished the book. Still hated doing it. The minute that happened, my life changed within weeks, literally within weeks, because that's when I wrote the specials and finished that. Instantly, everything happened.
Talking about moments of almost spiritual visions, not quite like the ones in your film Super, but pretty similar.
So pretty intense, pretty overall encompassing.
You've seen Super, right?
I think so.
Okay, it's pretty good. Good. And finish what you started was in that category?
1,000%. That one was what kept me awake for. That one was long. That was the most intense ever.
What did you experience? What did you see?
I didn't read this place. This is a.
Hmm.
So that means it's long, but my whole life is based on that freaking whatever that was. I have no clue how long it was. Maybe it was an hour. Maybe it was 7 hours. But yeah, it was really just aligning a lot of things I believe about myself, about finishing what you start. About it's not my business whether people think what people think of my crap or whatever. My business is doing what I do, and that's it. It was my faith in God, which is a big part of who I am. And at the same time, I don't think God really cares whether you believe in Him or not. But I heard, finish what you start. That was like hearing the voice of God as if it was completely outside.
See here. That's weird that you've had a lot of artistic outlets and it wasn't clear which one was going to pop off.
So that's totally true. At the end of the day, I think I like the best is directing because I like the right brain part of it a lot. I like the puzzle part. I like shooting action. That's like my favorite thing to do. But yes, I never really saw myself as one thing. I saw myself as an entertainer for sure.
When you took on Spy versus Spy and then Scooby Doo, was that anyway a sellout move in your mind?
He says, no, I don't even think like that. If I didn't want to write those things, then yeah, it would have been a sellout move. I wanted to write them. I was excited by the idea. I was really excited. I loved Scooby Doo as a little kid. I loved it. I still love Scooby, so that was exciting. James Gunn will make Scooby Doo 3.
Do you think that can ever be a thing at some point? He's close with WB, man.
I would. Batman and Scooby Doo team up. We had live action one.
Hey, we saw freaking Shaggy. We saw Shaggy in the background of Creature Comforts.
Come on. Come on.
I can honestly just see it happening one day.
I'll get a special on Max. Is all it has to be. It'd be like a 1 hour long.
1 hour special. I know. You know what the original script was. I think at some point they had the idea of like I can't remember what it was fully because I don't want to fully misquote anything. But it was like it was something that involved like Shaggy and Scooby kind of looking at themselves of like maybe they the monsters, the people because there's one that's like a real monster, but he's like actually just trying to live with his family, and they kind of like think of their own values or something like that. I could be like completely wrong, but it was something like that. All right, let's see here. It's interesting that the guy who wrote The Toy Collector about someone messed up attachment to the icons of their childhood, then takes on Scooby Doo and then eventually Superman.
Guess so. Reality of things I loved as a kid and saying, okay, if this is real, Scooby Doo was real, Superman was real, if Rocket Raccoon was real, how would that be? How would they be real? Back to Superman.
In the Superman trailer, we see that Lois already knows Clark is Superman. So you bypassed one of the stickiest issues. How does Lois not see past those glasses?
Said it comes up again later in the movie and it's explained. She says it. We mention it. And it's a one-off topic and people chuckle, but there's still stuff. There's stuff later in the movie about the glasses that are canon. That's canon in the comics.
I can't remember what is canon in the
What are you
comic.
gonna talk
Oh,
about?
all right,
That's
all
fucking
right.
read.
Oh, my bad. That's a controversial 70s issue of the comic book where it shows that Superman basically uses super hypnotism to change people's perception of him and the glasses. It was an idea sent by a fan that been mostly ignored since.
Says something like that. I only know it from Tom King, decent writer. First time we met was at Peter Safran's house. He had this sort of writers group come in. One of those people was Tom King, who was working on that. He also wrote Supergirl One Tomorrow, the book, so read that. And he was the most helpful. I'm like, I just don't know how to effing deal with the glasses thing because it bothers the This guy, his favorite word is the F bomb. He's dropped this thing
Oh yeah.
50 times. He said, bothers the crap out of me. He said, all that little stuff that people are like, it's a fantasy, just let it go. And I'm like, no, I have to explain everything. Everything for me has to come from a place where I believe it, as outlandish as it is. With Rocket, I could not just make it a talking raccoon. I have to have a real foundation for where he came from and how he came to be. And I need to believe it. So this some sort of glasses thing in this that he's got. It's
Yeah.
not hypnotism, but it's something like that.
Yeah. What were some other things you felt you needed to explain to make the Superman work?
So there are things that I know I don't explain that I don't even want to say out loud. But I wanted Superman to be vulnerable. I see the online things. I love this quote. This is the best quote he did. Something.
Oh,
Who would beat who? Homelander or Superman or friggin' whatever? Adam Warlock or Brightburn? And I'm like, this is the friggin' stupidest friggin' conversation. Like, so then whoever win this fight means that they're the best because I'll just go out and write God Man, who can destroy you with a wink, and I win. I win all fights forever. But I didn't really want a Superman who could punch planets. And also, we're creating a whole universe now, so what's a girl with wings going to do in the face of that? So he's a little less powerful. Guy Gardner's pretty freaking powerful. They're all pretty powerful. Honestly, in talking to people, a lot of people are like, I like Batman better because he can actually be beat. And I get that. So we have a Superman. I think that's funny.
it's fine.
All right, freaking God.
It's wink. Wink and you're gone. Let's see here. There are people saying the whole future of the studio might be riding on this movie. How do you work in the face of that kind of pressure?
Really, I just go, that's their business because that's not the truth for me. My truth is, this is the first movie out of DC Studios. Other people may go, it's got to be a home run, nothing else. And I'm like, no, I'd be very happy with a double. Friggin' Iron Man wasn't the be all end all, and it wasn't Avatar. We're doing something that's a piece of the puzzle. It's not the puzzle itself. We have Peacemaker, we have Supergirl, and what we want to do is make a movie that people love. They feel connected to the characters. This is just this one movie. It's not everything. I hate it when there's a friggin' article and it's going on about all the problems, blah 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 blah, and that means even more pressure on James Gunn and Superman. I'm like, guys, I'm not responsible for all that. I'm responsible for my piece of the pie. I've got to make my budget back. I'll be very happy with it.
You also can. You also can. You also like you don't look at me because it's gonna make me giggle more. You also cannot split planets, is what you're saying.
I cannot split planets, not that I know of.
Maybe you can.
I can't.
God, 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 man.
Doctor Man.
I'll just
This is
make.
Doctor Manhattan.
I'll just make God, man.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
Dr.
that is God, man. Doctor Manhattan.
Next James Gunn didn't like
Zack Snyder directed too.
that. Wait.
Wait, hold up. You already did that. Yeah, right. Think it would have been better. Yeah. More, like, still
Alright,
terrible.
next.
Anyways, over at Marvel, they've been pretty open about the fact they realize what's gone wrong over the past few years. They put out too much stuff.
And Louis D'Esposito, who is his longtime Marvel executive producer, said that privately to me. I don't even know if it's really their fault.
They were under a corporate mandate, yeah.
That wasn't fair. It wasn't right, and it killed.
Good. Watching that, especially after being involved, are there lessons to be taken on your end?
Says there's no doubt. We have to treat every project as if we're lucky. We don't have the mandate to have a certain amount of movies and TV shows every year. So we're going to put out everything that we think is at the highest quality. We're obviously going to do some good things and some not so good things, but hopefully on average everything will be as high quality as possible. Nothing goes before there's a screenplay that I personally am happy with.
See here. Sit on table here is a Superman / Spider-Man crossover comic book from the 70s. At some point, it feels like it's going to happen in the movies, doesn't it? Maybe 10 years from now?
So he says, we've talked about it a billion times. That could easily happen, but simultaneous to that, I think it would be interesting. But I also think people are a little over it. I think people want to see good stories with their superheroes, and that's what matters. And they want to see different types of stories with their superheroes. And people love superheroes, it's obvious, but they need more variety. They just need more quality storytelling. And just having Spider-Man and Superman team up isn't going to do it if it's crap. So it's got to come from a real place, and it's really hard to make that work.
Oh, I don't know. I might be happy. You tell me. Superman, Spider-Man. Like, come on.
And he says, I did Superman because I loved the character, and I was excited about writing that movie. If I want to write a Superman versus Spider-Man movie, is it a concept I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this could be a great film? Or am I doing it because, oh yeah, people want to see Superman and Spider-Man team up? For me, it would have to be, if we ever did that, it would have to be under someone who thought it was going to be awesome and it wasn't just a cash grab, because I'm just not in the know.
I read that last name on there. With this movie, Oh my gosh.
So
Oh my gosh.
let's.
I don't know if I can even remember. This is funny.
Is it? Are they talking? Are they going to talk about? I don't remember what they do. No.
All right.
James Gunn did point out a thing on Threads. There was a Reddit post going around where it was these 3 topics, and they were like, "This is how we destroyed James Gunn's Superman."
Yeah.
They're like, "We're gonna buy all the seats so the gun bots can't get them. We're gonna hold them so they can't. So they'll be like that taken out of the pool of seats. Then we're gonna leave bad reviews to balance out the good reviews. And then the first one.
Well, he said we're gonna buy them all out, but then the day of, call and cancel all of them.
No, they said they were just gonna. It was about like take because when you select the seats, it
Yeah.
takes it like highlights them.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you just hold it.
Oh, you're gonna check out, yeah.
So and then leave bad reviews, and the first one was spoil the movie ever.
Yeah.
They're like, we're taking the fight to James Gunn. James Gunn saw this and he was like, "LOL, okay."
I think we'll be all right.
So,
Well,
like,
someone
I'm
someone
sure-
comments
I'm
like,
sure-
"It's like, do you think your movie be affected?" He's like, "No, I think
He's
we'll be
like, I'm
okay."
sure the 8 people that listen to this guy are not gonna affect him. Anyway, you just read the Zack
Yeah.
Snyder.
So he's fully aware of this group of people. With this movie, you have people actually rooting against you because they're fans of previous incarnations of Superman and DC. Zack Snyder's.
James Gunn says, "Fake surprise, what?" and laughs.
What? He knows about it. This is funny. As you may have heard.
I'm trying to think of how to say this best. I don't mind it. I think it's good. I think you don't want to have everybody root for Hideo Kojima. Moment.
Yeah, I know.
Too good. Everyone liked it. I'm rewriting.
Hold on.
All right. Y'all liked it too. He says, I have an actor who reads everything online. I won't say who it is, but he'll read this article. He'll know who it is. It's one of the top 5 in Superman. It's not David, I don't think. David's barely online.
Mm.
I think it's might be the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, or it could be the guy who plays Mr. Terrific. But this actor gets so upset over things that people say. And I said, first of all, you realize that the trailer came out and reaction was 97, 98% positive. These people help us because you don't want everything to seem 100% positive. It's all right to have an opposing force every once in a while. Some of the things get ridiculous. I just know that every time something comes out, it doesn't matter how positively received, there's going to be something that is of great controversy. It was of great controversy that the Sun called Superman pain.
But that's not what was happening. That was his bones snapping back together, right?
It's like when a doctor resets your bone, you scream, but it doesn't freaking matter. Because is it really that controversy? Is that really something you're upset about, or do you have a hard time finding something to be upset about? There's always going to be that. There's going to be something that people are upset about, and it's okay. This actor reads everything. He reads every freaking Reddit thread. He watches all the videos, including by the people who make their living by hating us. That's how they make all their money. But you don't have to watch their videos where they're talking about how you're awful. You can't be reading it all the time. It'll freaking murder you. It's a terrible thing to your soul.
Is this actor your lead, David Cornsweat?
It's 100% not David. David is Superman. So not a normal person.
What was your way into Lex Luthor?
I really understand Lex. I feel like I relate to Lex more than I wish I did. But for me, Lex looks at Superman like artists look at AI. He's the world's greatest man in so many ways. He's done these unparalleled things. Then you got a guy who comes along who's done nothing to deserve the ability to fly and smash down buildings. And he's also extraordinarily handsome too. And all of a sudden, that's all the world's talking about. My sort of obsession with being replaced, with your gifts not being seen or passed over, I think is what drives Lex. I can relate to everything he does. He's just meaner than I am.
Do you know what you're writing and directing next as far as film?
He says, yeah, probably. I know what I'm writing right now.
World's Finest? And it's a DC film?
He says, yeah, nothing yet. I'm just getting into it. I really have a hard time writing when I'm in the late stages of post-production, which is, we're almost done, but I have a really hard time. I traditionally start heavily writing the day whatever my last movie comes out. I write treatments first, so I'm a couple of treatments in.
You once said that the fact that Robert Pattinson holy crap. Oh, sorry. You once said that the fact that Robert Pattinson's Batman is not in this universe was Matt Reeves' choice. Does that mean if it were up to you, you would have just pulled that into your universe?
It would be a consideration. We'd have to think about it. We have to think about it. It's not like we've never discussed it.
I do want to ask you. Oh, I guess there's more to it. No, never mind. Do you think? Here, we'll finish this, and then I guess we'll talk more about that. It's interesting. Your answer is much more present tense than I expected, as if it's an ongoing possibility.
No, I don't. Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now, personally. It's not. I'm not writing Batman, but I am working with the writer of Batman. And see, now he's calling it Batman.
Yeah.
So I think the movie might be called Batman. I don't know. Anyway, writer of Batman, I'm trying to get it right because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman. So outside of the stuff that I'm doing in the projects that are actively going, our two priorities are finishing our Wonder Woman and our Batman scripts. That's another thing we haven't talked about. There's a Wonder Woman movie happening.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
There you
go. Okay. The Batman script, is that still called The Brave and the Bold?
Now, yeah. Right now.
I could change. All right. In the broadest sense, what needs to be figured out to make those two properties work? Batman in this universe.
So Batman has to have a reason for existing, right? So Batman can't just be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character in all of Warner Bros., which he is. But because there's a need for him in the DCU and a need that he's not exactly the same as Matt's Batman. But yet he's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman. Really. So we're dealing with that. I think I have a way in, by the way. I think I really know what it's. I'm dealing with the writer to make sure that we can make it a reality.
Who's this writer, you think?
I have no idea.
I've heard people think it's Matt, and that's what's kind of taking long.
He's producing all the deep Batman stuff we would see.
And I've heard that he could be a possible writer, and that's kind of taking so long with Batman too. And how about for Wonder Woman?
Similar, Wonder Woman I think is actually easier for me because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman. Definitely not in movies, but really anywhere. There have been Batman. Every single Batman story's been told. It seems like half the comics that have come out of DC over the past 30 years have Batman in them. He's the most famous superhero in the world and the most popular superhero in the world. People love him because he's interesting, but also having so much of him out there constantly making boring. So how do you create that property that's fun to watch?
I really should clear this up. Is there still a non-zero chance that Matt Reeves' Batman will get sucked into your universe?
I would never say zero, just because you never know, but it's not likely. It's not likely at all. I'll also say Batman Part 2 is not canceled. That's the other thing I hear all the time. Batman Part 2 is canceled. It's not canceled. We don't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time. Let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean. Let him do his thing, man.
Get off him. He was holding up the shield.
This will be the final.
All right. How do you want to be remembered? Have you thought about this?
I don't give a crap. I want to be remembered that I was nice to my family, that my family and friends love me, but I don't believe in any of that crap. First of all, everything's a sandcastle. Somebody wrote me that the other day. We have these problems, but that doesn't last. What will be remembered forever is the movies. I'm like, no, it won't. It's just a friggin' disintegrating with everything else. What I really do care about is that I'm good to my wife, and I really do care that I'm good to my friends, my brothers, and my sister and my mom. I went to a funeral of one friend a few years ago, and he was split up from his wife, but he hadn't treated her well, hadn't treated his friends well. It stood me up 3 times, supposed to meet me for lunch or something. It didn't show up. Funerals are always sad, but I think there's kind of a fulfilling sad where people are crying because they love somebody so much. Then there's this sort of depressing sad where it's like you just disappointed everybody, and it's really hard for people to say nice things. We loved him, but it was hard. And that really affected me. I'm like, I don't want my funeral to be that. So I guess I really do think about it sometimes. But in terms of that, I want people to cry because I was good to them. And that would be the end of the Rolling Stones arc.
All right.
It's good. Perfect. They call this oil. He bird being.
He's like,
So
what?
he heard. Oh, wait. Let me get that. Let me have that. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
What is he even reading though? It's like
It's a DC reverb.
Oh, okay.
How's our stream been?
It's going good.
Is it not broken?
It's not broken.
Thank God. All right. So that was that. There's another article. That's a short article, but I'll read it. Who made that one though? Hold on. Entertainment Weekly. Entertainment. I spelled that wrong. Weekly, James. It's this one. Well, bam. DC's Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn on Superman, Gods and Monsters, and What's Next.
Freaking Blake 182 album cover.
It's a funny picture. All right. James Gunn is a man with a plan. After making the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Marvel is spearheading a new age for DC. He's a co-head of the studio with his longtime collaborator Peter Safran, blah, 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 blah. We already know about all this. Talking about Matt Reeves, Batman Part 2, Lanterns. He previews the future of the DCU. Let's get into it. You have questions to read.
Oh, good question. Okay. All right. Got a bit of heartburn right now, man. Holy crap.
I need some more water.
More water. Let's see here. Let me see here. Do I just... Okay, I can maybe read that and then run upstairs and grab a drink for us. You say
That's
you're
what I'm
one.
at now.
Oh, you want me to just read the question real quick?
I'm not gonna hear the answer.
It'll be okay. I'll be fine.
I'm not gonna read the answer.
I'm saying I'll be fine.
I'm
I'm saying I don't need one. I'll be fine for a minute. Do you need one? Bro tapped out. You're one of the very first, very few filmmakers, probably the only head of a studio who is active. Holy crap! When you scrolled, man, that messed me up. Who's thank you. Actually, I did help a lot. Who is so active on social media? When did you decide that you really wanted that sort of direct line of communication between DC fans?
So I think that just happened naturally. In fact, I'm much less active than I ever have. People have an issue. So people think he's online too much.
Who cares?
People do apparently. I'm in a
Well,
Discord with people who think that he's chronically online and that it's caused him to be portrayed as a liar because he says things that can be misconstrued as a liar. It's stupid. Oh yeah, she does.
yeah, I know. I forgot. I was like, holy crap.
Uh, okay. He says just mostly because I'm busy, but also because it's just too much. I've been on social media really since MySpace took off, and have had a lot of interaction with fans online since that time. I'm from Manchester, Missouri. I didn't know anyone in Hollywood. Those few moments where I was young and I was able to interact with somebody who was a part of this, what I thought of as a magical and distant and faraway world of Hollywood, or entertainment media in general. Whether it was a local DJ or Joe Strummer, who I met when I was a kid, or Pierce Brosnan, who I met when I was a kid, really mean a lot. Meant a lot. I always wanted to give that same thing back in terms of realizing these people who are buying tickets to my movies and making fan art and all these things are just people. I'm going to treat them with the respect that human beings deserve and creating that type of mutual respect with fans that they deserve.
I joke with my colleagues that part of my job these days is debunking a lot of those rumors in quotes that go around online. I've noticed quite frequently you tend to shoot those down in the moment.
Says, but now I've kind of quit because it just happens so often. There are a couple of people specifically who have pretty large followings who just consistently put out false stories, just one after the other, 95% of the time. Maybe once out of every 20 times they say something that was some slight or partial basis in reality, and it gets to be old. I'm not sure some of those people that I'm actually not actually helping them in a certain way by debunking them because you're giving them traffic, which I always do, but I think they like it, so I mostly quit. Every once in a while, there's a story that gets out of hand quick that has a possibility of hurting someone's feelings. For instance, there's a director we're talking to about a project, and all of a sudden it comes out a story that so and so other director who has nothing to do with anything is doing this project. You want to kill that pretty quickly because it's not true. Same thing with actors or whatever. So if people's feelings are at stake and there's something that's getting out of hand, I'll shut it down.
What was it like for you to do? Wait, hold up. What was it like for you to do that, being the head of a studio, but also the director of a film like Superman? Are you able to what compartmentalize? Compartmentalize? All right. Make sure I'm saying it right.
Listen, a lot of my social networking is done by
Hold on,
other
you just
people.
having to spell? Spell it out. I'm like, hold on. Gotta make sure I'm pronouncing it
It's
right.
always me. It's always my words. But a lot of times there's other people that are posting it. A lot of other times other people are bringing me questions offline from online, and I'll answer them and send them those answers. But then every once in a while I'll have a long flight or a long drive, or somebody else is driving or something, and I get on threads and I answer questions. You can see when I'm actually doing that because there'll be like 5, 6 answers in a row about once every 3 weeks.
What's it been like for you juggling your responsibilities as a co-CEO of DC Studios with your responsibilities of writing and directing Superman?
So the balance isn't between creative and business. The balance is between specific creative and macro creative. It's Peter Safran. He does all our meetings. He does all the business stuff. For me, it's about writing and directing. It's also about shepherding other writers and directors. It's about trying to come up with the other ideas for other shows, other movies that I give to other writers to take care of. So my job is all creative. Occasionally, there are things that you need to do, of course, as any writer director does. Mostly, it's taking care of the creative storytelling across all platforms. That said, it's a little bit too much at times. I can't do everything. I've had to try to focus on what I can focus on, which has been a part of my learning process over the past couple of years of having this job. If I try to do everything, it's too little of any one thing, so I need to really focus on certain pieces of it. When I find something really terrific, what I found with Damon Lindelof and Chris Mundy and Tom King, who are running Lanterns, I read the scripts. I gave them notes, but then I let them do their thing. I mean, I watch the dailies, make sure everything's going okay, then I watch what we start. Then I'll watch when we start getting the cuts in, which I think we're supposed to get next week or something. I'll start giving them notes on specific cuts, whereas maybe I was a little bit more involved during the writing phase. For instance, of Supergirl, because that was something that was one of the first ideas I had when I came to the DC. I really wanted to adapt Woman of Tomorrow, the Tom King book. So it depends on what's happening.
I picked up bits and pieces of this story here and there. how did you settle on Superman to be the first movie that you would write and direct in this new phase of DC?
So all three things that are now coming out were already in process before I took over at DC. I was already hired to write Superman. I was already working on Creature Commandos. I'd already had a deal to do Peacemaker season 2. Thing is that the priorities of what was first changed, what was up first changed because I was already writing Superman. He's one of the three biggest characters at DC, one of the most important characters in all of Warner Bros. Catalog, but I was really also the figurehead of DC in a lot of ways because he's the first ever superhero. So it seemed like the right movie to do.
Let's see here. Two characters that I still have a question mark over are the Hammer of Bravia and Ultraman figure. Am I on the right track in assuming Ultraman is Luthor's attempt to recreate a Superman kind of figure? Am I really off?
It's close. Yeah, I think that's close. Ultraman is sort of a Lexus thug. It's pretty powerful.
Do you think he's lying here, or do you think he's like,
I don't know why you would lie.
bro? He said, please don't. Huh. And in terms of the Hammer of Baravia, we get that shot of Eve Teschmacher played by oh my gosh, Sarah Sampia. Pia? All right, taking a selfie while that battle is going on, so it implies a Luthor Corp connection.
Says, yes, totally. Lex is connected to everything. There's nothing bad happening in Metropolis during that movie that doesn't have some connection.
So kaiju. Let's see here. How much do you see Superman as proof of concept for what big screen films in the DCU can look like?
Think of it like that at all. I just think of it as I'm making another movie, trying to make the best movie I possibly can. I'm learning a lot. This process has been more similar to the first Guardians for me than anything else, because I'm learning so much about how to shoot stuff with Superman, which is very different. Flying and figuring out the simplicity and elegance of this character, which is so different from anyone I've ever written a movie for before. Learning a lot.
There was that situation on social media where people thought David flying was a CG superimposed thing. Was that? What are you laughing? Quit laughing. 'Cause I can see you go. I'm like, hold on. It's hard. I think I might need some like reading glasses or something. 'Cause when I have to serve papers that people at the jail is like insane. Yeah, I know. I'm like, holy crap, because it's like such like a little text of like I have to like read their rights and all that. Superimposed thing, was that telling when you were talking about having to figure out how to pull off? Can you stop? Can you stop off these mechanics and get? You know what? How about this? You read it. I'm grabbing a water for both of us.
We're gonna wait.
I appreciate you waiting.
Uh, it's funny. I guess while I'm doing this, I'm gonna drop the Discord link in the chat. If you haven't joined our Discord, join it. It's a good time. Not much happens over there because obviously not many people are in the Discord. But we have a few members, so join it so we can get it going, get it popping. We can do some fun stuff. Which is the plan. 1 second. All right, and then go to YouTube. Go to our account. What is it? Let me try this. Getting some internet issues here. All right, here's the Discord link. Join our Discord. There you go. Join our Discord. Discord link is pinned in the chat. There you go. Thanks. Need that water. Need that water. You may have noticed, by the way, that I did try to stream Five Nights at Freddy's the other day. I'm having issues with that with streaming. I streamed the whole thing and didn't have audio, so we're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure it. But it's coming. Five Nights at Freddy's is coming. You gotta wait that one. Hopefully, we'll see. There's also FPC Firebreak, which is out. I wouldn't mind streaming as well. I played it already. I'll stream it with Phil or something. What else is coming on? I mean, Death Stranding, but that's not something that's stream. Thought about doing Power Wash Simulator. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm able to stream anything at this moment in time, other than like something like this, which is something. This is the area where we'll have a new podcast area, by the way. That's happening. Um, we don't have it set up yet, so this is kind of impromptu. I don't mind this at all, honestly. I really don't. I like having like I like having the screen. It's not too bad. He has arrived with waffle.
I have. Yeah. We're going to something quick. I ain't going upstairs. Hey, I meant for you to just try to keep.
I was just talking. Love it.
Go on. Go on.
Yeah.
Banana chocolate.
Oh,
I was in the mood up now. I think how sweet.
let's see. I was reading.
All right.
What?
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yeah. I was like, what? Hold on. What's I'm gonna do?
Wait, if it's off, then that's fine. Isn't that what we needed?
It is.
Leave it off. Unless it went out. That cord might have.
It doesn't mean way down. I mean, that's all right. Well, that works. All right, we're back.
So you got a question again?
All right. Now I got some banana nut in my mouth. Chocolate muffin. All right. There was that situation on social media where people thought David flying was a CG.
You remember that?
What?
It was in the icon.
Yeah, yeah. Where he's going through, he's flying. And it's like, yeah, remember CG superimposed thing. Was that telling when you talked about having to figure out how to pull off those mechanics of getting David to fly authentically?
And he says, no, I don't think it was so much. It was a TV commercial and it wasn't a finished visual effects shot. So the part of him flying, there was a photograph of his face and him flying. There was a photograph of a drone flying in front of an actual background. So all the pieces were real, but it was incorporated in kind of a funky way. I didn't love the shot, so it's not even in the shot that's in the movie. Sometimes I'm pretty strict about when I'm going through a trailer and looking at each of the shots. Sometimes commercials, if we get to look at this close. So that one kind of got by me.
It's pretty funny. That's not even gonna be in the movie. And he's like, "So what happens when y'all rush me for a new trailer?" It's like, okay. Crap. Dang it. There was more to it.
You think we're halfway through?
Okay. You title this first phase of the DCU as Gods and Monsters. How much of Superman is really crucial to that overarching story that you're thinking of telling across all of these films and TV shows?
There's something really interesting in this, by the way, Bob. So, what's up? Let me take him up. Let me get one more bite.
Good, ain't it?
Um, hey, you know, camera.
I don't care. We've done it before. We had a bunch of freaking wings there, and
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
Right. It is very important. I wouldn't say Creature Commandos is important, but Peacemaker and Superman are both pretty important in terms of getting to the bigger story. I understand Peacemaker is for one of these.
Yeah.
He said, at the same time, I really am trying to be careful that anybody can dip in and see the story that's up next and not feel like they're missing information. The other stories can provide added texture to what you're watching. That might change down the line as we get deeper into what's happening in this universe. Could be like Infinity War and Endgame. You kind of have to see Infinity War to know what's going on in Endgame. Right now, I'm trying to keep it so that you don't have to see Superman to see Superman. For example, even though there's a lot of stuff in Superman that leads to Peacemaker, you certainly don't need to see it to see Peacemaker. It's just good if you have. We also say previously in the DCU before every episode, so the TV stuff's pretty easy. So we're getting a previously DCU. This will be James Gunn's voice or something. Oh.
You tell me. You tell me. I watched Peacemaker. It's like previous on the DCU. It's just freaking like Superman footage.
Mhm.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
All right, hold up.
Quit drinking.
Gotta clear my gums for this one. I have some muffin in my mouth still. Anyways, it was freaking good though. I love them. Something about your colleague David Zasloff, head of parent company Warner Bros. Discovery, said around one of these investor calls, he mentioned that Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman are going to be core pillars of DC, at least for now. Is that accurate? I've been reading better since I got that potassium in my brain. Oh, okay.
You gotta get the muffin out of my mouth.
Yeah, freaking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I can't read it. I got a muffin around my gum.
Right. He says, yeah, I think that's accurate, actually. I think he got that from me. I wouldn't say only those 4 characters, but I would say that those 4 characters are incredibly important to us. Right now, I feel great about where 2 of those characters are, and then we're dealing with the other 2.
Have you cast the other two, Wonder Woman and Batman?
No, well, we cast Robert Pattinson, so he's still there, but he's still important. What Matt's doing is still really important, despite all stories to the contrary. We're supposed to see that script shortly, and I can't wait.
What does that mean?
We're seeing it this week. We know that.
I think it's weird. She's like, "Oh, have you cast like Batman or Wonder Woman?" She's like, "Well," he's like, "Well, we got Robert Pattinson."
He's Batman.
Yeah, but
DC
like,
Studios cast him.
yeah, but DCU,
Yeah, she didn't specify one. Or he.
whatever.
That's what I said.
Oh, it's whoever it is. So I was like, okay. Um, let's see here. Sorry, I got like a hitch right here. I don't know what it is. One of the things that you and Peter emphasized early on is bringing this idea of unity and cohesion across all. Quit nodding like it's like, oh, we got it. It's like cohesion. You're like, mm-hmm. It's like the cohesion across all of these DC titles, but then you also have these Elseworld titles like Reeves films and the Penguin series. How do you see both of those things remaining true?
Well, it's going to be mostly DCU, and then occasionally there's some Elseworlds tales. There are things that naturally lend themselves to Elseworlds tales. We have a lot of animated projects, and they're sort of a different beast. Excuse me. They aren't all like Creature Commandos. The truth is, the DCU, we give a lot of people freedom to tell different stories, but also we have to be really involved to make sure that, say, the power set of Supergirl and Superman are the same. There's really a lot of silly crap that we have to give notes on in screenplays, like powers, what cities exist in the DCU that don't exist in other places. We got the regular world, we're the DCU. There isn't necessarily Seattle, but there's an Evergreen. There isn't necessarily New York, but there's a Gotham. So all of that type of stuff needs to be dialed in. So there's definitely room for people to tell other stories, and when it's somebody who's important like Matt Reeves, who I've had an admiration for a long time as one of the very, very few filmmakers who is out there making spectacle, commercial fare, that is also an artist, then you have to stand up and listen. The script still needs to be good. We're not going to make it unless we like the script. But I think that there are exceptions. I told it to one person who came in and pitched something. That was an Elseworlds tale. It was a very, very, very famous movie actor. I said, it depends on how the screenplay comes out. If it's a masterpiece, I'll make it. But it has to be a masterpiece, last. And he's like, I don't know if it's a masterpiece. He got all funded. He's still working on it, though. He's still trying to do it, so we'll see. Masterpiece might be pushing it, but it's got to be really great. Ryan Reynolds? Is it?
No, no.
Big movie star. If it's an Elseworlds tale, then it's worth telling something that might tend to confuse a few people. But also, part of our thing is to really be clear about what is Elseworlds and what is DCU. And the other thing is not just giving away properties like they're party favors to people doing low-budget TV shows or stuff that we have no quality control over because we're making a few $1,000s on the rights. It is having some sense of quality control over everything.
Peter Safran was telling me a little bit about Clayface and how the hope is to start filming at some point this year. Assuming that the script is in this good place in the weeks following this interview. Gunn announces Tom. Oh, okay. So I see what's saying. Yeah, Gunn announces. Wait, how do you pronounce his name? Tom, or I guess that's his middle name. Ren Harris in the leader.
Where are you gonna end it?
Reese Harris. Excuse me.
So yeah,
Ren Harris.
Tom Reese Harris was cast. Harris was cast as Clayface. So that is news. I don't know much about it, so I can't say.
Yeah.
But all right. I was trying to think about what it was.
Oh.
The new script is great. It's great. I mean, the first script was great, and then this new draft is even better. The movie's definitely getting made.
Let's see here. What goes into a decision to bring Clayface into the DCU versus an Elseworlds title?
Well, I think it was just we needed DCU content. Mike Flanagan is somebody who I've been friendly with for a long time, and he wrote me about Clayface. He texted me about it really early on in my DC journey. Just being honest, I did not think that was something that was going to happen. But he came in, he pitched the idea, and I was like, oh crap, that's cool. It's a body horror movie. It's a horror movie that, like any cool body horror movie, just happens to be in the DCU. And then he wrote the script, and the script was fantastic. We did not plan to do Clayface. That was really something he brought to, to us.
Let's see here. Because this is DCU. Is this the same Clayface that we met in Creature Commandos?
Since I think that everyone will find that out. I do not think it is. I think it's a different.
So you think it's like a old school Clayface?
I think there's multiple Clayface, but also the one Creature Man is dead. So
Yeah. In terms of the timeline for the Gods and Monsters phase, Superman is shot and coming out this year. Peacemaker season 2 is coming out this year. Supergirl is wrapped. Clayface is going to be filmed. What's the next project that's closest to starting principal photography?
about to wrap Peacemaker. Peacemaker and Superman are both going to end up being sound mixed and color timed about the same time in the next 2 weeks. We're going to see early episodes of that soon. Lanterns is halfway through filming. We're going to see early episodes of that soon.
That's about to finish off here.
It's halfway through filming.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Then there's another TV show that's my favorite thing in all of this. That's hopefully getting made soon. Just my favorite thing. And then there's the movie. Oh crap! I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not say. There's a couple of other movies that are being written. One of which is in pretty good shape, which is another which is kind of closer to the start, but we feel positive about. And then there's a thing I'm writing, which I think it's okay. So what will be the next thing after Clayface is not 100% certain, but it's pretty certain.
How much of these undisclosed titles are things that have already been announced versus things that haven't?
My favorite thing has not been announced at all. One of the scripts people kind of know about, which I think is Sergeant Rock.
Yeah.
My script people don't know about. The other script people don't know about. So it's mostly stuff people don't know about. A couple of those things from announced in January 2023 are in pretty good shape in terms of coming up. If there was one thing that I knew from the very beginning, that when I pitched to David Zaslav what the DCU would be, I pitched to him, but we did not announce that in that first meeting because I felt it was too easy to rip off by another company.
What are you
What
talking
did
about?
he say? Hold on. A couple of those things are in good shape. There was one thing that I knew about from the very beginning, one project. When I pitched to David Zaslav, he pitched to David Zaslav. He pitched it to him, but he did not announce what that would be in the first meeting because he feels like it would be too easy to rip off by another company. And so that's one of the main things. Marvel, talking about what Marvel gonna rip off. So obviously it's not Justice League. It's this
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
I don't know. I guess unless he's done like I mean, I guess we haven't really had
obviously it's something unique. If it's something that Marvel's like, oh, why didn't we think of that? Let's do that.
yeah. The only thing I can think of is maybe like another team movie, but like I don't know. I feel like it's just like what's the difference between this and like maybe like a Teen Titans? I know that was kind of a rumor.
Unless it's Batman, Superman, this is world's finest. Because it's not like they've done a team up movie really.
Besides like Avengers
I mean,
films,
like Ant-Man or Wasp, that's different. If we had like Iron Man and Captain America movie, or like Spider-Man and
Daredevil.
Spider-Man and Daredevil, they haven't had one. So
I
it's gonna
think
be Superman. And
it
Batman.
is kind of weird.
I don't know.
And that's like he says like his favorite project, right?
It says one of the big things. That's weird.
Is a Superman sequel on your mind?
So what I'm working on is in some way, I mean, yes. But is it a straight up Superman sequel? I would not say necessarily.
That's fine. It's like, come on, like that's. I mean, what else would be the
Or
sequel?
it's
My Adventures, Jimmy
Justice
Olsen.
Gang project, Justice League International. Guy Gardner was terrific. Batman, Hotwheel.
Let's see here. Is there anything you can say about this mystery project that you're writing next? Is this the project that you'll direct next?
Well, I always leave saying I'm going to direct something until I'm actually done with the screenplay, and then I say, yeah, I want to do this. That's probably what I will direct. Yeah, probably, to be totally realistic, yes, probably. Okay, now this next part, we don't have to read it. He mentions that Guillermo del Toro wanted to make a Justice League Dark project. He asked him about that. He says, I've never heard about that, but he's really good friends with Guillermo. And they own a movie theater together.
All right. I also wanted to ask about Sergeant Rock. With all of the information flying out there, could you set the record straight on the terms of where it is?
I feel like we're in a pretty good place. We're still moving forward, but it's not going to be what Peter want me to say here. So it's still moving forward, but yeah, right now it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be creatively, so it needs to change a little bit.
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost is moving along. It's slow moving, but it's moving. And yeah, I really love that project. I like it.
Is that really directly connected to your larger plans for Wonder Woman in this space?
It says yes, well, yes and no. Wonder Woman's a separate thing. We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now, so it's different. I mean, not different. They're connected. She's from freaking Themyscira, so.
Also, a lot of people, I'm sure, are blowing you up on social media, possibly in person too, about the state of the Batman Part 2.
It says, listen, we're supposed to get a script in June. I hope that happens. We really feel good about it. Matt's excited. I talk to Matt all the time. I'm totally excited about it. So we can't wait to read the scripts. We haven't read it yet. If that's your question. People should get off Matt's nuts because it's like let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs to write it. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt, so let Matt do things the way he does.
Get off Matt's nuts. Okay. What's that? Get off Matt's nuts. Good safety. It sort of relates to that. Yeah, sort of relates to one of the first questions I asked you, which is your relationship to social media. I can't imagine being in Matt's position, having to write a script while also being hounded on social media for updates.
Well, I don't think Matt really pays attention to that stuff so much. He's got a lot of other things happening, so I don't think he lets it affect him. He's fine, but I am irritated by people. I mean, it's just that thing people don't need to be entitled about. It's going to come out when he feels good about the screenplay. Matt's not going to give me the screenplay until he feels good about the screenplay.
One last question: are there other characters who will appear in Superman who have not been announced yet?
Yes. And that's the end of the article.
Oh, all right.
Right. Pretty good article. Anything else? So that was all the big. It's
The Batman Part 2 trailer. It's like, what?
Oh,
How?
there was a Superman clip. We didn't really cover. We talked about Clayface. We saw that. Okay, there's a couple things James Gunn said on Threads, which I did screenshot earlier, which I should mention. We'll be up here. All right, there's a few things he talked about on Threads, but first there is this as well. They did reveal an Elseworlds Mr. Miracle show.
Yes.
And there's a whole description of that. I'm not gonna read it. It's Elseworlds, but it's an adult animated show. All right, James Gunn was on Threads. Someone said Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl don't have wide eyes in Superman. Is it possible we could see other characters who have the white eyes? He says, Mr. Terrific doesn't have wide eyes for the whole movie, though.
Yeah,
He's got white eyes. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's the one about the Snyder fan. He said, someone said, did you place any Guardians of the Galaxy Easter eggs in this Superman movie? Can you tell me? He says, I didn't place any Guardians Easter eggs, but I may have placed a few Guardians who are Easter eggs, if that makes sense. Cameos.
Chris Pratt. Freaking. No.
Superman, one of the robots.
No. Booster Gold.
Someone said, are the rumors about the Waller show being reworked into a Checkmate show BS too? He said yes. Do you anticipate your heroes having multiple costumes throughout the DCU, like Superman in a sequel having a similar yet different costume? He says yes. And someone asked James, do you like Brandon Sklenar Spencer Dutton in 1923? He says yes, that show was great. So he's aware of Brandon Sklenar, who's who I want to play Batman. And then there's this one. Someone said, given how it was stated all of DCU characters animation will have the same actors in live action, does this mean Alan Tudyk is Clayface's voice for when he's in actual clay form as we saw in Creature Commandos, or will it still be Tom? He says, I said we plan on using primary actors whenever we can. I've also never said if the two characters were the same. I've also never said that.
That's weird.
It's cheeky.
Yeah.
But that would be, I think, the end
Yeah.
of all the news. Interesting stuff. Let me all right. Yeah, interesting stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think right now? When we were at the beginning of the DCU, we're kind of getting a little bit of glimpse into the behind the scenes technical side. What's going on? How confident are you at the moment? What are your thoughts on the start so far?
I think track record is everything. Again, this could fail, but right now, I'm not gonna say whether the movie's gonna be a masterpiece or not yet. Again, movie's not out, but you looking at the track record of everything James Gunn has done with Marvel and
Sorry,
he,
it's just
he heard
funny.
me. He heard me. Everything James Gunn has done with Marvel and with DC has been the show amazing. I'd say his worst project has probably been Creature Commandos.
That's not even that bad.
It's not bad
I
though.
rewatched it and I liked it.
It's
Still.
not bad.
I've
It's not
I
bad.
enjoyed the show.
I think I almost
It's
feel like
honestly the last 3 episodes I didn't like when I first watched them. Honestly, watching them again, it's not that bad. Watching them like quickly,
it almost makes me think I wish it was like a movie, like a
it's
Max
the
movie.
length of it.
Yeah, it's like what we say, an hour.
Honestly, I would not mind trying to download all those and then editing it and like listen.
Just one big merge. Merge. You have like normal intro and then because it's not bad. And I think the GI Robot episode is.
The Weasel episode.
I think that's the best TV show episode.
Oh no, Weasel episode still.
I think it's the best episode in DC. Not talking about CW, but I'm saying with like Peacemaker and all. With those two shows, I think GI Robot episode's great.
Maybe.
Almost any Peacemaker.
I think episode 4 of Peacemaker is really important.
I do plan on doing a rewatch of Peacemaker season 1 and Creature Commandos before.
Suicide Squad,
Oh yeah,
Peacemaker,
yeah, Suicide Squad.
Blue Beetle, and Creature Commandos.
Yeah, and Suicide Squad's great. Hey, I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, 3, and the holidays.
yeah, and like there's nothing. He hasn't done no wrong, so I don't understand some of the. It's like, besides like real criticism, not like, oh, you ain't the my director I want. So I don't
make a joke.
Yeah, not like that. Like something like real.
My Superman don't make jokes. Hashtag.
But it seems like everyone that has real issues is like majority is like, oh, I like the movie. I think it looks good so far. So I can't hate on it when the dude has a good track record. Like I'm sorry. And if the movie comes out bad, I'll say so.
If the movie's bad.
How can someone like
we got all this.
how come someone like Tyrone Magnus like come out and be like, I think this movie's gonna be mad. It's like, how can you say that when you gave like Guardians 1, 2, and 3 is great reviews? Did you give Peacemaker a good review too?
Yeah, he loved Peacemaker.
Yeah, so I'm like you're gonna
he
say
didn't like Guardians 2, I don't think. I think he liked 1 and he liked 3. And he didn't like the Suicide Squad.
I didn't like 2 when it first came out, but I don't know if I just had a different mindset. I loved 2 the second go around. I loved it.
I'm trying to see. I don't think I've saved. Oh well, he did have more. Okay. Just to clarify, we talked about this on the podcast. That there was another writer signed on to do stuff for Clayface. People are like, oh no. James said it's all Mike's story. That's why we're making this movie because we loved it. Any changes of the shooting script is finalized are minor. He said something. Calm down. Chill out. That's what he said. I was trying to see if I could find that stupid Snyder fan thing. I don't even think it's.
Well, like what they're gonna do?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they were like, stand up and fight for the Snyderverse of July 11th. Fight for our Snyderverse on the imposter Superman release day. Here's what we can do to make a difference. Post spoilers everywhere. People are less likely to see or enjoy the movie if it's already spoiled. I also don't believe that.
Yeah, didn't he say that too? James was like, I don't believe spoilers could ruin a movie.
John Cape puts it.
John
leave bad rating on review sites. We know for sure Gunbots will post fake positive reviews, so we must let people know the truth and balance the bias out with realistic scores. What truth? You haven't even seen the movie.
Yeah. The truth is, will be bad. It's like, no.
He says, reserve tickets online, but don't complete the purchase. By selecting and reserving tickets, it gets taken out of the pool for a period of time, which means this has a chance of stopping Gunbots from buying tickets. Gunn fired the first shot and killed the Snyderverse. And here's our chance to take the fight back to him. Just hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag if we can't have our Superman, no one can. Okay? All right, bro. It's crazy. It's so stupid. But that's the DCU.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Some good things coming. I hope Superman's good. It's coming out soon. I think we'll be back in time. It's back.
All right.
We think that's weird. What is it short?
I know sometimes that light kind of takes a minute to turn on sometimes, so I don't know what the deal was.
Anyway, I think we'll be back in time a week before Superman. Superman's in 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll be back in time. Maybe we'll be able to do predictions before, and then we'll have a review out.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of this setup, because I honestly don't hate this setup, but I think it is a little cramped.
Yeah. Look, this might be a little temporary one.
But I do like having this. It's also kind of difficult to work with, but I like it.
This might be our temporary one until we fully get the other one, and then if we hate that one, we'll just go back.
I mean, honestly, if we had both the tables here and then move the camera back, it would be fine.
Mhm.
You just have to. Think.
Yeah.
But yes. So let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let us know if you like the stream. If you like to hit that like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload. Whether it's a stream like this, podcast episode, they'll be back shortly. Superman episode, which some point. I'm nervous. I don't know. We gotta do Superman 3-4 review and then Superman Returns.
Yeah. And then after that's Man of Steel.
And then Batman Superman and then the TV episode.
Yeah.
That's it. And Superman. We'll figure it out. We may end up doing a huge dump of those, but definitely do that. I'll try to get some streams in. I'm having issues with that, but I'll get it fixed. And I think that is it. So yeah, like I said, bear with us. We'll be back We'll be back soon on the podcast doing stuff. But we hope you like the stream, and we will see you all soon. Bye, guys.
See ya.